everyone. We are so glad you're here with us. If you enjoy this episode, please rate, review, and share it so that we can reach more ECEs and childcare workers. My name is Rachel Neville, and I will be your host today. So, as many of you know, I'm going to be going on parental leave very shortly, and it's very bittersweet, but this will be my last episode of Circle Time for a little while. But I'm so excited to welcome Bree Piccolato to the podcast, who will be joining the AECO team for the parental leave and hosting the podcast.
Hi,
So,
everyone.
hi, Bree. So, Bree uses pronouns they, she, and is an RECE with over a decade of experience in the early learning and childcare sector, including caring directly for children and families and working in professional learning, post secondary education, and policy research and advocacy. In their spare time, you'll find Bree tending to their houseplants, caring for her cats, or reading and researching. Today's episode is going to focus on our 2026 AECEO Members Retreat and Advocacy Summit, which we held at the end of May. And we're so happy you're here, Bree. I'm going to pass the host mic over to you and welcome you to your first episode of Circle Time.
Thanks so much, Rachel. I'm so happy to be here. And I hope that I do a sufficient job hosting. You will certainly be a difficult voice to replace. So thank
Oh,
you so
thank you.
much for this opportunity. And I'm excited to hear more about the retreat too. So I guess we'll get started with our first question. So, as the lead organizer of the retreat, what kinds of things went on behind the scenes to get it all sorted and organized?
Thanks, Bree. Yeah. So I think with the retreat specifically, there were so many things that we wanted to achieve and so many goals that we had. Um, Not only just to have like a really fun time, which we absolutely did, but
Hmm.
also we wanted to make it as accessible for everyone as we could and make sure that people felt like it was for them. You know, everything we do is for our community. And with this special members event, we wanted to make sure it was really reflecting what our members were looking for. So we hosted some sort of information sessions ahead just to kind of let people know what to expect because it was one of those events that sort of diverts from our typical work. You know, most of the
Right.
time we're doing online events or in-person rallies or meetups at coffee shops. And this was like fully sleepaway camp.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we hosted some info sessions to let people know kind of what to expect, what the cost was going to look like, and also just to hear from them, like, is there anything that would make this more accessible for you? And one of the things that we learned at that info session was that folks really were interested in having a bus to get from downtown Toronto to the
Right.
resort, which was a few hours from Toronto. So that's a very valid request.
Yeah, absolutely.
We were very, very lucky to have CSBT sponsor our bus. And so we were able to make that happen, and several people took the bus, and we've had some great feedback that it was a positive experience.
Hmm.
Other things that went into the retreat were communicating with our other major sponsor, Gold Star sponsor, we call them, Valor Direct. They supported us to reduce the cost to members as well as sponsored our snack bar at the bonfire and our welcome dinner and lots of awesome merch. So big thanks to CSBT and Valor Direct. Couldn't have done it without them. And I think from my perspective, you know, there was lots of communicating with people who were attending and the resort and making sure we got everyone set up with their rooms and dietary needs. And then, I mean, in the bigger picture with the team, we had learning sessions that we hosted at the retreat. So the team was hard at work developing those, putting their slides together, and then we all worked together to kind of create the agenda for the weekend. So it was a big project, lots of tiny details. I'm sure I'm missing a few. Um, but it was really, I think, a labor of love and something that the whole team was so excited to do and really felt like an opportunity to kind of step outside of our norm and be in a
Mm.
space, by the water where you could see the stars at night and really just recharge, rest, and sort of prepare ourselves for what's next. I mean, we have the summer in front of us, which is a great time to kind of recharge. And then in the
Hmm.
fall, when legislature's back, well, I'll be hopefully ready to rock.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds like the team and you especially really tried to give lots of opportunities for the community to connect and to have a say in how things were organized. And I think, I mean, not to spoiler, but it sounds like that is coming through quite clearly in the feedback too, which is great. So you started talking about the venue a little bit, but for those that weren't there, could you describe what the venue experience was like?
Yeah, absolutely. So the venue is in Severn Bridge. It's called Bayview Wildwood Resort, if anyone wants to look it up. It's an all-inclusive location, so that means that the cost covers both your hotel stay, all of your meals, and anything else you might need. Which is really great because it gave us sort of more capacity to think about other things when we had all of those things covered. When you drive into the resort, there's sort of like a lobby with lots of parking, but once you pass that, it's like very much a sort of little cabin by the water vibe.
Very cool.
Yeah, the cabins are all painted in like really bright colors, and most of them face out over the water. And there's lots of docks that you can go out onto. They have like a whole section of paddle boards and different kind of like water activities that you can do, as well as pools. It's a little bit cold for swimming in the
Yeah.
lake in May, so the heated pool was very welcome. Um, and it's really just a nice spot. I feel like it's a great combination of sort of that luxury environment with also being kind of like camping adjacent. So
Mm,
folks who are from the country could kind of enjoy that more resort vibe, whereas people who are from the city were much more into kind of the camping vibe. So it was
yeah.
a good mix. Something that we didn't anticipate when we originally booked was in the spring, there's somebody who organizes goat walks.
Oh, so cool. As soon as I heard about this, I was like, oh my gosh, all of these
Yeah.
people so lucky.
So I'm sure we'll share some photos of that. But basically, a goat walk is in groups of four. They have four adorable goats with the cutest names. I think one of them's like Penny and Nickel and like adorable. And you can walk around the resort with them on a leash and let them eat some grass and hang out with them. There's like a small additional fee to do that, but there were some people, I'm thinking about Jose, who got right off the bus, hadn't even dropped their bags in their room yet, and were already walking a goat or a sheep.
Oh my gosh.
So that was really charming and unexpected.
Yeah, that's really cool. What a fun little surprise for everybody attending the retreat.
Yeah. And even if you didn't walk the sheep, it was still like you could go and look at them, and they're so sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very cute animals for sure.
There were lots of fun wildlife sightings also. Like we saw a bunch of mallards and all sorts of different kinds of bugs. So the folks on the trip who were really into the wildlife got to see some cool stuff. And I don't know how many folks noticed this, but they're definitely we're pretty sure we saw a beaver swimming in the lake.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah, as a nature lover myself, that would have been absolutely thrilling for sure.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so you also mentioned in your introduction the professional learning session. So what were those like?
Yeah, so we had several professional learning sessions. So our first learning session was really focused on our values. It was called Values as Our Guide, Care Connection, and Your ECE Practice. So this session really focused on why are the people in the space that attended the retreat, why are we feeling drawn to this work? What are the values inside of us that really connect us to feeling like we want to participate in something like this and in advocacy more broadly? So, I think sometimes it can be really tricky to really narrow in on what those values are. And then also to make the connection as to why those are the things that guide our decision making
Mm,
and sort of our ethics and our ethos around ECE. So, this was a really great session to sort of clarify those things and reflect and just connect with other people about our shared values. Because it turns out most of us, all have those things in common. We want
mhm,
better for ECEs and we want better for children and families. And we believe in justice and all of these things that really guide our work. So, that was a great way to start off the weekend, I think, just really solidifying that and recognizing how much we all share in common.
mhm.
And our next session was called The Good Fight: Policy Change Through Community Building.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this
very
was,
snappy title.
yes, this was a great session. It's focused a lot on sort of as the AECEO and the OCBCC, our partner organization,
Hmm.
what are the principles that we use to organize, and how do we bring our strategy and our community together to actually make those wins? The Good Fight in the title is a reference to the Good Fight Prize, which our organizations won for our Worth More campaign recently.
Hmm.
And so I think going through just what's the thinking, what's the theory of change behind this work was really helpful because it also is very connected to our first session, which was about our values. So our values inform our strategy, and with our community, we work through that strategy, and we actually win a lot of the time. Sometimes it feels like we're going to rallies and we're making phone calls and we're getting together with our members and the rest of our community. And it feels like it takes a long time for movement to happen on a policy level, which is true. But at the same time, when you look back and you see all of the people who were involved in that work and the wins that we have had, it is very powerful to be like, no, you know what? We are making the change. And so, yeah, policy work can't happen without community and community building. That's really the foundation. And so I think that was a really cool session to just bring people into these concepts of what is the point of organizing? Why do we do it the way we do it?
Right.
And how do our values guide that work?
Very cool.
Yeah. Our final session on the Sunday was called We Lived What They Dreamed, Grounding in the Art of Legacy. And this was a really special session because it was really different from anything we had ever really done before.
Mm.
The wonderful Patricia on our team was super invested in learning about our history over the past year because we were celebrating our 75th anniversary
Yes,
all
right.
year long and with this retreat. So Patricia was in the archive finding so many cool photos and all this information about the history of our organization. And this presentation really delved into, the founders of the organization and what were the things they were asking for when they originally created the AECEO. And it turns out like the underlying principles of the work are very similar, if not the same, to what we're thinking about today.
Mm.
So it's very cool to think back to these people who we share so much in common with, even though,
Mm.
it's been 75 years since they were thinking about this too. Um, and I think, as we continue our work and keep fighting for better wages and working conditions, it's so important to have that sort of grounding and perspective that, we're standing on the shoulders of giants and continuing this work that they dreamed of. And even if in our lifetime we don't see the change that we're hoping for, this is sort of a passing of the baton that has been going
Hmm.
on for decades. And it's not necessarily a bad thing that it gets passed on because we get the opportunity to have new voices and perspectives that were historically excluded. And it just makes the movement more powerful and more diverse and strong. And that's a really positive thing. I get
Hmm.
emotional when I talk about this because it just feels so special to be connected to something that has been so steady, you know?
Hmm.
And we have had wins. It's not to say that, it's the same as it was 75 years ago,
Of course, yeah.
but the the thinking behind, why people deserve care and why people deserve to have good things is the same. And
Hmm.
that's to share that with another person from 75 years ago. It just feels really special.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like a confirmation that that care work is and continues to be so integral to
Yeah.
human life and
Yeah.
well-being. And just, yeah, that reminder that that the work that we're doing is important, I think is
Mhm.
really validating.
Yeah, it was a beautiful way to end the weekend and
Hmm.
just leave people with that to kind of ponder.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, okay. So professional learning was amazing, sounds like. And again, it sounds like all the feedback that's coming in about it has been really great. Um, So another thing that the team has shared and has been chatting about was this experience of meeting new people, potentially new members. What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. I I still feel like so grateful to people who joined us because I think it took a certain amount of bravery to
Hmm.
sign up for something like this that is so different from our typical work and could have had a lot of, unexpected moments or uncertainties, people who hadn't seen the venue before or who didn't
Hmm.
know the team super well. I mean, we had people joining us who literally signed up for membership and signed up for the retreat at the same time,
Wow.
which is amazing. And I think, if I think back to myself before starting with the ACEO, I don't know if I would have done something like that. It would have scared me, I think. So,
Yeah, I don't think I would have either. So for
yeah,
sure.
super brave
Yeah.
and cool of them. Um, we also had like several students join us, which is always amazing. We love students so much. Um, And also people who kind of just came on their own and didn't have a friend that they were bringing with them, which again, so brave to put yourself out
Hmm.
there like that. It was so fun. I mean, for me personally, I I was so excited to see new faces because I think a lot of the time, we see a lot of the same faces, which is amazing. We got to have our
Yes.
our regulars
Yeah.
showing up. But to have new people sort of trust the AECO with their time, energy, with their money, that was so amazing. And I really hope folks got a lot out of it because I know for us, seeing you show up like that meant so, so much. And I mean, everyone was just incredible, like so interesting and so fun, and had such great perspectives and things to contribute during discussion times. And,
Mhm.
hanging out in nature and having meals together and just getting to know people better, what kind of music they like, and, where have they worked before and what was their favorite placement. Those were all just such fun conversations to have. And I did have a few people come up to me at the retreat just to let me know that they're, making really, really good friends with these people who they had never met before. And that's really
Oh.
all I could ever ask for out of this experience,
Hmm.
because we know that our work, the foundation of our work is community. And if you
Hmm.
can make a new best friend, that's the best kind.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like even though there was like a mix, a good mix of what sounds like new and regular folks,
Mhm.
that they just blended so well. And I
Yeah.
think that speaks to that shared values piece too, for sure. Like when you're signing up to do a big thing away,
Yeah.
um, but you're all kind of united under this idea of the importance of care. I think that makes it a lot easier to connect to.
Yeah. And it also is, it's just a good reminder, I think, that the people who are drawn to, advocacy and community
Hmm.
work are so kind and open, and
Yeah.
they all want to make sure that people feel included and feel safe. And, I think the AECO and our team does our best to try to foster those types of environments. But these people we had never met before came ready to do that also. And that
Hmm.
was just incredible.
Yeah, that's amazing. So it sounds like there's probably a lot of takeaways that could happen here, but if you had to just pick one, what would be your biggest takeaway from the retreat overall?
Yes, there's so many takeaways. For me, I think, oh, I'm going to get emotional again. For me, I think my biggest takeaway is just that ECs are the best people.
Yeah.
And we have such a unique way of being together, of showing up for each other, of being in community together. And even though there's a lot of challenging things going on in the childcare
Hmm.
sector right now, so
Hmm.
many issues that are feel unsurmountable or feel like an uphill battle.
Yeah.
When we're together like that, it's just so powerful and special. And I think, as I'm stepping away from this work for the next year, I
Hmm.
have absolutely no doubts or fears about the work that will continue, because ECEs don't give up, and they don't take no for an answer, and they show up for each other even when it's hard. And
Hmm.
that's just such a beautiful thing to see in any setting, but especially at this retreat where we had time to really be ourselves together. That was so clear and came through so many times.
Hmm.
So I'll join you all again soon. But while I'm gone, I just have full confidence in the people who were at the retreat, the people who couldn't make it, and this whole community of extremely dedicated, passionate, and hardworking people.
Hmm. Yeah, it truly is an absolutely amazing group. I'm really excited, as much as
Yeah.
it's extremely sad that you are stepping away for a year for good things, for good things.
Yes.
Um, I'm excited to get to know the community a little bit better too.
Yeah.
They're amazing. I can tell
Yes.
already, and I haven't even met most of them, but I know it in my heart.
Yeah. We're so lucky to have you, Brie. I'm so glad you're joining the team.
Ugh, I'm gonna get emotional. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. And I think just hearing more about the retreat is really coming in at the end of what was quite a big piece of work, a really big project. And just hearing so much about the positive impact that it's had and the community building that it created. Um, is really reassuring. Not that I had any doubts anyway, but
Yeah.
it's a really positive time to come in for sure. I know there were some things outside of like the direct professional learning that seemed like really standout moments. Did you want to share any of that?
I think for me, one of my favorite parts of the weekend was the bonfire,
Hmm.
because we it was partway through the weekend and it was on Saturday night. And, by that point we had done our icebreakers, we'd had a couple sessions, we sort of were mingling and getting to know each other. And there was this moment where I had to step away for a few minutes. And when I came back, I was kind of on the top of this hill, and down the hill was where the bonfires were happening. And I just kind of stood there looking down at these bonfires and people laughing and roasting marshmallows. And we had some live music, and the stars were coming out and the sun was setting. And behind them was just this beautiful lake and docks with boats. And it was just so picturesque and beautiful. And I just had this feeling of like, ECEs deserve this joy.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
deserve this rest and this care. And for us to even be able to give it to them for like a couple hours, I felt so lucky to be in that position where we could facilitate something like that and just give the time and space to let ECs feel happy and have something fun for them.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think as driven and caring people, there is this common theme of often putting others' needs ahead of our own, and that reminder that it is really important to rest and to have joy and to take care of ourselves, even in what seems like a professional setting, I think it's such a powerful moment. So, thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider becoming a member. The link to join will be in the episode description. Your membership makes a difference in the lives of ECEs and childcare workers, children, and families, and allows us to continue doing this work. To all the members currently supporting us, thank you so much. To all the ECEs and childcare workers listening, you are deserving of rest and joy. And just a reminder that you are an integral piece of the work of the AECO, and we value you being a part of this community. Thank you so much.